Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Infinite IT's Beyond the Network.
Yay.
This is the podcast where we talk all things tech, teamwork, and keeping your business running smooth behind the scenes. So, to get started, I'm Madison, the account manager at Infinite IT. I've been with the company for 5 years.
I am Bill. I'm the owner. Been doing this forever.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about a topic that we get asked a lot, which is do you do projects for people who are not in long term contracts with you?
Absolutely. Uh, I am not a fan of long-term contracts. So, anyone that thinks that they have to sign with us we don't need a contract to do projects. Projects are like if you're stuck on something or you need something temporarily. Yeah, we just make an agreement. Not even a month. It's just for that one thing.
Yeah, I think it's a really good way to like test out the waters with an IT company. I think a project is a great start if you want to fill someone out. But even like companies that just need to move, like sometimes I know people call us and they're moving somewhere in San Antonio and they'll hire movers to move their desks and chairs, but I would definitely not recommend hiring movers to move your computers and your network.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we just make sure that when you come in the morning, everything's working. The movers aren't going to do that successfully. And also like the back end stuff. Some people pay way too much for their internet, for instance, and we can probably save them money because we don't you may not need everything, and just examples like that. So
Yeah. And one good thing that I think good to know about us too is that like when we're talking about long-term contracts, we don't really do long-term contracts. Like yes, we sign a 1-year contract, but we have a 60-day out on either side. So if we're incompatible with the client, like let's
yeah.
just do what's best for business and go our separate ways. No need to.
Yeah, I don't need to we don't need to be unhappy in a toxic relationship for 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. 3-year contracts sound crazy to me. Like, I feel like I know vendors that offer us 3-year contracts or 5 years or 10 years. And I'm like, in 10 years, I have no
Yeah,
idea what technology is going to be.
and I don't even know what I'm gonna be doing in 10 years, so
So I'm like, I cannot sign contracts like that.
no.
Okay. I think it is worth noting though that we have done projects for people who later became our clients.
Sure. Yeah, they liked what we did, and we did talk to them and found out that they do have ransomware, so they didn't want it again, and so, our 24-hour security is normally what they like about us once they get to know us. But that's another, you know, that's the day-to-day stuff.
I've even seen it where we have advised someone or what do they say? Like, we've been a consult for somebody for IT, and so we met them. I think I just walked into their office one day, gave them a business card, and they were like, "Hey, we have a technical question. I'm not really sure if you have anything to do with this," which is also something they hear a lot. But it was a construction company. They needed help installing the lights in that new
Right.
build they had. And so they wanted the lights to be controlled on the wall, like with an iPad. So they were like, "Oh, we need help setting that up." We were like, "Sure." We gave them some advice. They
Hmm.
didn't. We didn't even do a project with them. They didn't even pay us for anything. It was just like advice. And then like months later down the line, they were like, "Hey, can we
Yeah.
actually set up a meeting to talk about IT?" So I think that's really cool when that happens too. Like we are literally just trying to help out the community in whatever way we can, and then a few months later we get a call.
Yeah, I remember we even have like building management companies that we worked with where we're just doing cabling, and then wound up being, instead of Spectrum coming in and charging 100 people 100 different services, that we can get one pipe in and we can share it out, and they can then charge for their internet in a different way, and instead of just giving that money away, sometimes I start taking that responsibility.
Yeah, and I think, like, it helps our clients out too, because usually when we do business with the building management company, it's because one of our clients, has an office there, and
Mm,
so if we're putting up cameras from the office if we're putting up cameras, like, in the building, that's in turn helping our clients and their security, so
mhm,
I think it's
absolutely.
just a win-win for everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so, one thing that would be smart to cover is how to get started to do a project with us. What's the first steps?
We just give us a call, but we do like to put our hands on it and talk to you guys. And we'll ask a lot of questions. We'll even like to have conversations. So we may even educate each other on certain things. But that's it. You just give us a call, and we'll come down and see what you got, and we'll give you give you our recommendations. What do you think? The number one reason is uh, for making a client a long-term client.
I think that when, like, especially if we do a project with someone, we can tell that they're going to be a good client long term if they just meet a few things. So it's not like they have to be perfect or have a bunch of users or anything like that. But I think when we meet with the business, we can tell automatically if they, number one, care about security. And if number two, they're willing to invest in their technology, they're planning for long term. They're planning for growth, and they know that if they go 15 years without replacing their computers, it's going to slow them down and cost them money. I think that that's like the biggest thing that I see, just like the first time we meet with someone. If they see technology as just like another expense that they want to minimize as much as possible, or do they see IT as a huge tool that can help them be more efficient throughout their workday?
Yeah, and I can tell you that a lot of times, a lot of companies will charge to like redo everything before they walk in the door and everything. We do not do that. We
That's crazy.
understand that you may not have the budget right off the bat, but we'll work with you. We'll try our hardest to make everything run as best as it can. But
And we just
yeah.
make a priority list. Like, you don't have to buy everything at once. We can, we do our QBRs, we have our software with our recommendations, and then we rank them by priority. So it's like, okay, number one is going to be the most critical thing. So if it's like a server replacement, like this is what you need. And we just keep all of our recommendations there in that software. We both have access to it. There's a budget, and we can just plan it out. It can be for the whole year as far as
We even
we're
have
concerned.
financing. We even
Mhm.
have the financing if you need that.
All right. Well, I think that was a great first episode for Infinite
It
IT's
was
Beyond
fun.
the Network. Yeah, so everybody just comment below, let us know what you would like us to talk about, and we'll see you again next time.